Question number three is, especially for those who have just converted to Islam and who know a lot of people who are not Muslims, what do you think about the Quran's statement mentioned twice that those who do not believe in Islam are the worst of creatures? Do you think that people who reject Islam are really the worst of creatures? Worse than cattle? If your parents are not Muslims, what about your parents, for example? Question 4. What do you think about slavery? I'm not talking about slavery in the past. What I'm talking about is timeless, contemporary, and possibly future slavery. The Quran basically justifies and rationalizes slavery. Muhammad kept slaves, traded slaves, and never intended to end slavery, which is why many Muslim apologists nowadays still believe that slavery should be or could be brought back. Looking at history, searching yourself, what do you really think about enslaving people?
Verses in question. 1. Quran 8:55. Indeed, the worst of living creatures in the sight of Allah are those who disbelieve and will not believe. 2. Quran 7:179. They have hearts with which they do not understand, eyes with which they do not see, and ears with which they do not hear. They are like cattle, rather, they are more astray. It is they who are heedless. Breaking down the context. 1 Quran 8:55. This verse refers specifically to a group of disbelievers who actively opposed Islam, rejected truth despite undeniable evidence, and waged war against Muslims. These individuals are condemned for their persistent moral corruption and rebellion against justice, not for merely holding a different belief. 2 Quran 7:179. The verse describes those who reject truth knowingly, choosing ignorance and immorality despite having the faculties to discern right from wrong. The comparison to cattle highlights their neglect of intellect and guidance, which distinguishes humans from animals. Moral, not personal judgment. 1. Behavior, not identity. The Quran critiques actions, not personal worth. These descriptions apply to those who actively reject and oppose divine truth while spreading corruption. 2. Non-Muslims in general. Islam differentiates between peaceful non-Muslims and those hostile to Islam. Quran 68. Allah does not forbid you from being righteous and just toward those who have not fought you because of religion, nor expelled you from your homes. Indeed, Allah loves those who act justly. 3. Parents and loved ones. The Quran commands kindness and respect toward parents, even if they are non-Muslims. Quran 31:14-15. And we have enjoined upon man care for his parents. But if they endeavor to make you associate with me, that of which you have no knowledge, do not obey them, but accompany them in this world with appropriate kindness. The Quranic verses address moral degradation, not inherent value. Disbelievers who actively reject truth are critiqued for their choices, not their existence. Islam promotes justice, kindness, and respect toward all, including non-Muslim family members and peaceful non-Muslim communities. Understanding slavery in historical context. 1. Universal practice. Slavery was a global institution long before Islam. In pre-Islamic Arabia, slavery was deeply entrenched, with no mechanisms for its abolition. Instead of abruptly dismantling the system, which could lead to societal chaos, Islam introduced a gradual approach to reform and eventually eradicate slavery. 2. Islam's reforms. The Quran and Hadith implemented measures to humanize and diminish slavery, encouraging the freeing of slaves as an act of virtue. But those who free the slaves, it is they who will be the companions of paradise. Quran 90:13-16. Prohibiting mistreatment or abuse of slaves. Your slaves are your brothers. Feed them what you eat and clothe them with what you wear. Sahih Bukhari. Mandating contracts for slaves to buy their freedom. Mukatabat. Prophet Muhammad's, peace be upon him, actions. 1. Personal example. The Prophet freed numerous slaves, including Zayd ibn Haritha, who went on to become a close companion and leader. He strongly condemned the enslavement of free people. There are 3 people I will oppose on the day of judgment, one who enslaves a free man and sells him. Sahih Bukhari. 2. Steps toward abolition. Islam progressively eliminated sources of slavery, such as enslavement through raids or warfare. It encouraged freeing slaves as a means of expiating sins or earning divine rewards. Slavery in the modern context. 1. Abolition. Islam's principles facilitated the eventual abolition of slavery in Muslim lands long before it became a global movement. Any claims advocating for the return of slavery are baseless and contradict Islam's essence of justice and human dignity. 2. Timeless values. The Quran's emphasis on freeing slaves and treating them as equals reflects values that transcend time, advocating for human rights and equality. Islam didn't condone slavery, but reformed and laid the foundation for its gradual eradication. The Prophet's teachings and actions demonstrate Islam's commitment to justice, human dignity, and freedom. These allegations stem from a lack of understanding of Islamic teachings and historical context. By examining the Quran and Hadith holistically, it becomes evident that Islam critiques moral corruption, not personal identity, when addressing disbelievers. Islam reformed and abolished unjust practices, including slavery, promoting universal values of equality and freedom. Assalamu alaikum.